Team Fearless, what is up? We've got another session here with Richie Khandelwal from PriceLab's, the CEO of PriceLabs, who has a great relationship with us here, a repeat of the show many, many times. And if you have not seen all of the episodes with Richie, make sure you go to the fearlessinvestors.co/PriceLabs, the fearlessinvestors.co/PriceLabs. That's where you're going to find all of our past episodes, but also, if you didn't know, Richie gives a very nice gift to all of you for being the Fearless Investor audience to 30 days free with PriceLabs plus an onboarding tutorial, which, I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing right there. A lot of people can try PriceLabs, but if you have no idea what you're doing, that tutorial is huge. So, Richie, today, man, I'm excited because we're talking about this new tool, the Revenue Estimator Pro Tool. And guys, you'll never guess what it is. Revenue Estimator Pro Tool. It's estimating your revenue. So I can't wait to see this, Richie. But thanks for jumping on, man.
Very cool. Thank you so much for having me, Kyle, and thank you for everyone who's listening in. Apologies for the background noise if you hear any. But
You're good,
today
buddy.
I am extremely excited because we're sharing one of our latest tools that we are releasing, and this is I think Kyle, your group is the first interview that I'm doing, and
Cool.
one, apologies for any hiccups in advance, but also
I'm
just
sure
like
it'll be just
really,
fine.
really excited about anyone who's in the investor group to like first hear about this, right? So we rolled this out about 2 weeks ago. So some of you may have already seen it in various forums or announcements, but still, if you haven't come across, very excited to share this. Um, like Kyle said, the name is very obvious. Revenue Estimator Pro. It's we've built this keeping exactly the audience like you in mind. Investors who are looking and want to quickly but very uh, accurately understand the earning potential of a property or an address or wherever you're looking to either invest or trying to
Mm-hmm.
understand what the potentials are like, right? And so that's kind of what we have done. We've looked at a bunch of tools that exist in the market, etc. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about why what we're doing is different in this
Mm-hmm.
space, right?
Okay.
And how that can potentially help you. Cool. With that, without further ado, let us. How about we go ahead and introduce the tool set that we're doing, right? So we're going to talk about Revenue Estimator Pro. As Kyle said, very obvious, helps you discover the potential of any property anywhere in the world with very comprehensive insights that you can draw from this, right? So I'm going to jump a couple of pages first. So firstly, I'm going to if you can see my screen, I'm on PriceLabs' website here, and under resources, there is a free revenue estimator product, right? This is now something that I think Kyle, I could be wrong, but a couple of weeks ago we had covered like the
Right.
free bunch of free tools that PriceLabs does, and Revenue
Mm-hmm.
Estimator was a free tool in that we had talked about. And this Revenue Estimator is very simply like if you're looking for a back of the envelope free tool, you could put in an address, you could choose a currency, you could say, hey, my bedroom count, and it would show you your revenue potential, right? But sometimes you want to be a little bit more precise if you're thinking about a more granular decision for your property, right? And so this is exactly where now the Revenue Estimator Pro comes in. So how does this work? Let me break this down for you. First of all, very similar to how our Revenue Estimator free tool works, right? You can create estimates for any location. Once again, you can get very granular with putting in an address, a location, the currency that you're charging for, etc. And so you can get very granular on that, right?
Okay.
But it doesn't stop there. Once we create, I'm not going to create one because it takes a couple of minutes live creating one, but I have, as you can see, several created here, right? And so I'm going to open one that I've opened. But once the estimate is created, what you see is this level of granularity where you don't just see an amount, you see the range that we expect, right? For that, for this address, for a one bedroom, we expect it to be on average 22,000, but we see a range in that market from 10,000 to 35,000, right? So
Okay.
that's a broad range, but we want to
Yeah.
there be very clear about like what is it that you're seeing, right? We also want to showcase to you, hey, what is the average daily rate? So the rates that properties are getting booked at in that market, right? What does that look like? So that you can also not just go by and say, hey, this is my annual estimate, but if you're also thinking about, hey, in some months, like in high months, I might be able to cover my mortgage with rent or short-term rentals, but in other months may not be. So you can better plan for that. So similarly, like our estimations of revenue, if you're a 75th percentile property versus 25th versus 50th, and then adjusted occupancy, which is like paid occupancy. And so you can find some definitions if you put your mouse on these black dots. So you can do that, right? So that's this is a granularity that a lot of the other products out there do not show, right? But then from here we go a little bit further, as you would have probably generally experienced with PriceLabs. Because sometimes just entering an address is not enough. You want to say, hey, I have a lakeside property, or I actually
Right.
want to look at
Right.
certain
Yeah.
quality of listings or something like that, right? So then you can come in here and you can say, hey, I actually want to filter and refine the comp set that is being used to come up with the pricing for this property, right? Now in this, like, say this is the address that I had used, and there are a bunch of properties around this address, right? And so I could think of like either simply going and saying, I understand this market better, and these south side properties should not be something that I should be considering. I only want to consider these north
Good.
side properties. So I
That's
could,
good.
use a lasso select to saying, hey, okay, just consider these north side properties, right?
Yeah.
Or so lasso select, basically you'd select this and you drag and select and draw an area, right? um, I shouldn't have done that.
I well, I
Or
love just to pause you really quick. I love that you're doing this because this right here, being able to redefine what's being evaluated, like being in a beach town or a mountain town with a lake, it makes
yeah,
such a difference whether you are lakeside or have a lake view or are a 5-minute drive. Like that makes a huge difference. And so if you're just taking just a very
yeah,
vague overview of the entire market, that doesn't work. Plus you actually have the listings here, which I think is huge, so that I know, okay, am I being evaluated based on what I know my listing is going to look like? So this is great, man.
yeah, absolutely. And then, just like all of our other tool sets, if you see in like on these maps, any of these dots, if you click on that dot, it will take you to that relevant property on in this case Airbnb, right? So it will take you to that relevant property on Airbnb if you click on those dots. Yeah. So like for
Nice.
example, if I click here,
Cool.
it'll take me to that Airbnb property, right?
Okay.
Um, Also, so let's say you don't want to work through uh, this map itself. You can also work through. I have several columns here, but you can work through these columns to create your filters, right? So,
Mm,
for example, one, if you see, there are various kinds of columns that I can add here, right? I can
very
add
nice.
review scores, reviews. I can add max guess,
Mm,
beachfront, hot tub, chargers, whatever, right? If you can imagine, right? And then I can also just like create a very advanced filter where I can just say, I want to look at two beds, but two beds that allow anywhere between two to whatever guests. I generally only want to look at 4.5 kind of plus review scores, because that's where I'd want to operate, or I think I can operate. And my property would be a beachfront, and I would have a hot tub, and I'm also waterfront, right? And then I am going to use dynamic pricing well, right? I am a small to a moderate professionally managed operator, right? And I can start creating these filters, and then I can apply these filters to come up with my view of what is included in that set, to then come back with with the estimate, right? So once I've done that, I've not made any changes. If I did, I'd do basically apply changes, right? And then I'd go back and I'd see a new revised estimate on this, right? And so
Richie,
you can use
this
those.
is huge, man. Though I don't want to just graze over those filters. That filters part is huge. The ability to narrow down my search and make sure I'm looking at the right kind of property with those minor things like a barbecue grill, like a air conditioning, like that stuff. And I don't need to name any other tools out there, but there's a lot of tools out there that are helping you estimate revenue that don't give you that kind of detailed overview. So that in itself right there is huge. And I can't wait to go dive in and try this out myself.
Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, yeah, and like, or so this is just like filters. Then I can also, just do my performance expectations from these properties, right? So when I say performance expectations, I am going to I'm going to make sure that this property is really available, and so I'm going to make sure that it runs an 80% occupancy. It is available like 365 days a year. It'll have certain other features, right? I'll have like longer length of stays, etc., right? So that allows you to further refine. I would generally say you don't want to get down to and just have 5 properties in your comp set, right? You want to have good 30-40 properties
Mhm.
to come up with a decent estimate, right? But you could try to understand this better. And again, then if you click on any of these properties, right, it will take you to that prices, right? Sorry, take you to that Airbnb link of that property. um, the the reason that we think why this is relevant, and I think Kyle, you'd probably add better words to this, right? But I think a lot of people were one, doing a lot of manual research, going into properties and trying to figure that out, right? And there was a lot of guesswork that was happening because you didn't truly know
Right.
what was included in figuring out the price for something, right?
Yeah.
And so hopefully this allows you to really be able to figure out what you're doing. And then the next place where we take this a little bit further is you can download these estimates. So if you want to keep them, if you like, so it'll create a nice PDF for you so that you have it, right? And then also, as you're creating these estimates, you can keep them organized in one place. So if you wanted to check back, and if you wanted to see, you can see that estimate more easily. And if you're already using Pricelabs, or if you connect your properties to Pricelabs, you will get an initial 2 estimate tokens free, so you can play around and try the tool. So with that, I'd invite you to like try out the tool. I hope, like, as investors, colleagues, homeowners, real estate agents, like, you'd be able to get benefit out of this. And finally, like I said, you can download the PDF from here. But you can also I'm like, by going into settings, you can add your own logo, etc. So that way you can white label the PDF itself, right? So the PDF can have your own logo if you're like a real estate agent, or if you're a property manager trying to do certain things, right? So hopefully with that, that you'd find valuable. And yeah, uh,
Very, very
thoughts.
impressive, very advanced stuff, man. I'm really excited about this. I'm looking at a few properties right now, and I'm gonna go try this out compared to what I've done in the past and see what it looks like and see how close it is to my, like you said, manual work, right? Like I've gotten into a manual process of like, here's how I find out what my ADR, what my occupancy, what my revenue is gonna look like. If
Yeah,
this matches that without having to do all that manual work, I'll be a happy man.
I
I'll be a
yeah,
very happy man.
and again, like, all of you who are listening in, and Kyle, of course, you, right? This is something that we've rolled out as our first version. So we are always open to hearing feedback. We've always learned from you guys to see what is it that you need, how we can improve. So tell us if there are things that you don't fully understand. You can always reach out to us at support@pricelabs.co, or if you're inside the product, like clicking this help thing on the right bottom, right? And with that, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and help improve any things that we need to change on the product.
Awesome, Richie. All right, guys. Once again, thefearlessinvestors.co/PriceLabs to make sure that you go and educate yourself about all the different ways that you can use PriceLabs. Plus, if you're not already a member, make sure you go ahead and go to that link, and that's on thefearlessinvestors.co/PriceLabs, so you get a free 30-day trial along with a free onboarding tutorial. Richie Khandelwal, thank you so much for jumping on, man, and helping us to conquer the world of short-term rentals with PriceLabs.